I'm sitting here all cockeyed. I'm way down here, but I wanted you to be able to see the lights up there. So let me start off by saying I'm really glad you're here. See, we are friends. You came back. Or at least I hope you did. So I'm gonna brush. Do you like this? Okay, I have a couple of really crunchy sounding, I think they're called, no, never mind. I don't know what they're called. Something squishy, dabba, yabba dabba, I don't know. The first one, and they're very loud, they're crackly. The first one looks like a flan, a dessert. It has a cherry on top and whipped cream, but you can squish this way out. And then we'll just go right back how it was. I mean, they're just so bizarre. I had been asking other ASM artists where they get their squishies, and they said Temu. I did not know how to order anything on Temu, so I go on Temu and I realized you want to order from the same seller, and you want to order $30 worth of product from the same seller, and you get a better deal that way. So that's what I did. There's another one. This is very similar to the other one. It looks take this out of the package and I would pick these out. That's what it's for. You're supposed to pick them out. My son would love to do that. And then he told me when I pick all of these out of this gelatinous goo, whatever it is, waxy, he wants all the stones so he can make jewelry. He likes to tinker. Have you ever heard of Raspberry Pi? He has one of those, so he likes to tinker with that, but he made a ring. And he has made, I don't know what just happened. My phone is not cooperating, and that's all I have to record on. I don't know what it's gonna do, so I don't know how much time I have. Anyway, this will be fun to pick at. I might do a video of that. We can see what kind of weird things are inside here. Okay, I am going to read a Bible verse, and it is really, really dark in here. And the print on this is very small, and I have 20/25 to 20/30 vision with my glasses on. I have terrible eyes. So, I'm going to stumble, and you're just going to have to put up with it. Okay. So, let's think about boldness. You know, when you think about boldness, you want to say, I can't do that. I don't want to try that. I'm not bold enough to put myself out there. Or, let's face it, stand for the truth. It's really hard to do, but when you're with the Lord, you can. I always picture the word can't, the word can, and then the little apostrophe is my hand reaching up to hold Jesus' hand as he was dying on the cross, and he takes my sin with him when he dies, and that T is the cross. So you have his can, and then the apostrophe is your hand reaching up to the cross to the T. So there is no can't. We can with the help of the Lord. So I just envision things that way, and I have pictured that, but I am guilty of saying I can't. Because let's face it, when you're chronically ill, your body doesn't want to let you do anything. If someone told me that I had to make dinner while I was having a vertigo attack, I would have to say, I can't. That would be like trying to drive while I'm tumbling in a barrel down a hill. That's a can't. My wood stove is making not so good noises, very tinny noises. Anyway, you can speak out with the truth. You don't have to be afraid to make changes for good. I mean, come on. Anything that you can change for good, like drinking an extra couple of glasses of water a day, because most people don't get enough, or eat your water. You can eat your water. Cucumbers, fruit, any fruit and raw vegetable, you're going to be eating a lot of water. Acts 4:29 says, Now, Lord, consider these threats and enable your servants to speak your word with great boldness show you all the, I guess I did. I have something to tap on. Another Temu purchase. I bought a little pot to put a flower in for over the summer when the little ones, because I have 3 grandchildren and they'll come over and they'll pick me flowers. They call me Nana. I'm their Nana. I was to be Nani. And my grandson, who's the oldest, he's 6, and I would say, come here to Nani, come here. And he just started calling me Nana at about 2 years old. And so he named me. And that's how it goes. So I'm Nana and my husband is Papa. And our middle daughter watched him for a while. And he called her Yaya when he was real little. He says her name correctly now, but he called her Yaya, which is another grandmother name. I thought that was really cute. But this is a cute little pot. I want to say it was like $1.12, but they got me because I didn't know how to order. So I paid $3.99 plus $1.12. I wouldn't have paid that much. I probably would have paid $3.89. I don't know what I'm saying. Don't listen to me. No, listen to me, but not that part. It's really cute. I like dainty things, but I don't like a lot of things. I used to be a maximalist. I am a minimalist. Well, when you start a hobby, you can't be a minimalist if you need a lot of items for your hobby. My husband bought me these socks, and I really like them, but they pill easily, and they were expensive. They're really cute. They're I have 6 pair of these, and they're thicker on the bottom. It's like the aurora borealis behind me. It's pretty, but I can't get the light in a good spot because I don't have a long enough cord. Anyway, I wasn't even going to scratch on the socks, but I liked the sound of the paper that was around the socks. Do you like the sound of tracing and scratching? Or do you like the tappy, tappy, tappy? My granddaughter calls them happy tappies. And she likes to watch ASMR with me, and she likes to do some happy tappies. Okay. Cautiousness. How can I be more cautious? Well, as to make Earth a little bit better for everybody. We want to serve others gently and lovingly, even if we don't agree with them, because we're serving the Lord. So Proverbs 19:2 says, "Desire without knowledge is not good. How much more will hasty feet miss the way?" Boy, that is good. Desire without knowledge is not good. How much more will hasty feet miss the way? If we don't know where we're going, we have a desire for where we're going. Yeah, if that's what it is, we have a desire for where we're going, but we don't have knowledge of whether it's good or not. There's where the cautiousness needs to come in, right? We need to listen to the Lord, and He gives us so many verses that help us live life and remember to be cautious and to be bold. I'm going to tell a story about, I'm not a big person who believes in, oh, God gave me a word, He gave me a vision, He gave me this, He gave me that. I'm very cautious when it comes to that. Prophecy, I feel, has already been done and it's been fulfilled, and I do get that people can be like, I really feel like God's telling me you were made for more, you were made to do this, or I know that can happen. I do. But I remember going to a church with my best friend when I was young, and it was a Pentecostal church, and they would dance around and say things that made no sense, and I knew that I was supposed to understand what they were saying, and I didn't. I knew that the only person who didn't understand what the person babbling was saying was the person who was babbling. I knew that. But the church, everybody was saying this, Holy Ashinama, Ashinama, Ashinama. It made me feel creeped out. And I don't want to say that about other Christians. But they told my friend, who had a lazy eye, that she didn't have enough faith, and that is why her eye was not healed. And that was very wrong. Churches are full of flawed people. None of us are going to be perfect. We can't. That's impossible. We will be in heaven, but not here. So we have to try to get it right. These little cards help us to, oh, that's a good reminder. This is a good reminder. And we need to turn to the Lord. And it's always nice when He gives us a little verse to go with it, right? He is so good and so helpful, and His way is so much better than any other way we could possibly think. He might take us on all kinds of detours, and we're thinking, man, this is the long way there, and I hated that this happened, and I broke my foot, or I needed surgery, or, well, for me, I needed brain surgery, I needed stomach surgery, I needed stomach surgery again. 1 year, I needed a brain procedure, and then, I had a brain procedure at the very end of July, and then I had, now I can't think of what it's called, appendectomy. I had an appendectomy. It was just a couple of weeks after that brain procedure, and I had this little bitty hair coming in where 37 years of this and 5 kids. And why did we have 5 kids? Well, we would have kept going. But I was 41 when I got pregnant with our last, and I was just about 42 when he was born. 42. He just turned 14 and I'm gonna turn 56. So, but it was so much fun. And his brother is 2.5 years older. I was 39 and a half when I had him, and I had a blood transfusion because I lost too much blood when I had him, and I got Superman's blood. I'm telling you, I felt fantastic for 8 months. I was able to drive. I was able to go to my kids' games, their soccer games and basketball games. It was so great. And then it all wore off at the 8-month mark. Oh, it was so tough. But I'm here, and I find things like this that I like to do. I've put this off for at least 6 years. I've been wanting to do this. And so I'm just going to take a little bit of time at night when my husband goes to bed and come down and do this, and then try to edit it the next day. I did figure out how to use iMovie. So, yeah, I can do that. I'm not very good at it. Do you like the mic brushing? Or do you prefer like close up attention? Personal attention. Like I would be like, oh, let's brush here, let's brush here. Let's brush this hair away from your forehead. Oh, look at that beautiful sky. Did you get to see the northern lights? I did see them. It was my 3rd time in the last year and a half. 3rd time. Never saw them before. I feel like I was going to tell a story and I can't remember. I don't know where I started. I have a habit of this. I talk in circles. I think it's ADHD. I've never been formally diagnosed, but 4 of my 5 children have ADHD. 2 of them have mixed ADHD. 1 is very hyper, and the other was just the D part of ADHD. But then it looks very different in them when they become adults. The only one of our kids that doesn't have ADHD is our 16-year-old, and we thought he was on the spectrum when he was little, because I had never seen a toddler put another person before themselves, and he did quite often. When we would be getting ready to eat dinner, he would go get spoons and forks out of our drawer, and he would look around trying to figure out how many he had to get, and he was always the last one to give one to himself. And as he got a little bit older, and we're talking 4 and 5 here, if there was one piece of cake left, I mentioned CLI, Christian Leaders Institute. And they have Christian Leaders College. So you take the courses from Christian Leaders Institute and they will transfer to other colleges, but these courses are free, where other people are taking courses that are not. And I've been trying to tell people. I'm sorry. I don't know why I use that to cover my mouth. I've been trying to tell people in the homeschool community about CLI, and it's crazy that they're like, oh no, they won't transfer. They only transfer to Liberty, and my kids aren't going to Liberty. Well, that's what we thought too. But I said to my son, get on your computer, type out just a generic thing to say to each one of these colleges, and send it to the registrar's office. That's REGISTRAR. The registrar's office at each of the colleges, and see what happens. Well, the one college, Geneva, in our state, they got back to him and said, we have to ask the assistant vice president. And then they got back to him again, and they said the assistant vice president had to have a big meeting with the academic advisors and figure out how these credits would transfer. And they figured it out, and they will take 90 outside credits. That's 3 years of college. If you're going for your bachelor's degree, it's somewhere between 120 and 124 credits. They will take 90. So they will take 3/4 of his degree. And these courses are free. Now there is a $250 transfer fee once he's completed all the courses that he wants to complete through them. But I want people to know this. I'm not gatekeeping a secret, but it sure feels like I am, because the homeschool community is not listening to me, and I've been doing this for 18 years. I know what I'm doing. I might not know what I'm doing right now, but I know what I'm doing when I'm homeschooling. Now, if you ask me about all the secular homeschool stuff, I might know a little bit, like Power Homeschool and Acellus Academy. But I'm gonna talk about Knotgrass. I'm gonna talk about Denison Math. I'm gonna talk about Mystery of History. I'm gonna talk about History Plus Online, which is the dessert of our day. I'm gonna talk about narrations, oral narrations, and written narrations. I'm gonna talk about dictation. I'm gonna talk about, well, I could read if they'd let me, How to Be Your Own Selfish Pig. That's a great book. Anyway, I could ramble on and on about homeschool stuff because I got a lot up in here. And you for joining me again. Shout out to my friend Tatey Pop. I love you, girlfriend. Good night. Good night. Good night. Sleep well. Jesus loves you. And remember, your sins are no cleaner or dirtier than mine, and my sins are